Coming up on this week's newscast, we've got all of your information on the spring dance and as well as a recap of the JV hockey team's state championship. All this and more on this week's episode. Get ready because BNN starts now. Hi, I'm Naomi Kiros. This coming Wednesday, March 2nd, begins our Lenten season with an Ash Wednesday Mass. BNI's campus ministry has been busy planning not only for 40 days of fasting, but for a season of purpose for the BNI community. Here's Darcy Staley with the report.
Hi, I'm Darcy Staley. With the Lenten season almost here, let's check in with campus ministry to see what the plans are for Lent this year and also to see what students are doing to prepare for Lent as well.
Well, Bishop Noel has two main projects that we are going to share on Ash Wednesday, which is March 2nd, I believe, this year. So the first one is a book. No moans. I can hear you while you're watching this show on Fridays, okay? This is actually a really good book called Life is Messy. And my goodness, folks, life has been messy for the past couple of years, hasn't it? These are just reflections by a prominent Catholic in our world named Matthew Kelly, who has struggled himself during this pandemic as we have. And so it's a book that I've read. The first semester interns also read it, and they had a lot of epiphanies, a lot of good thoughts about how to change some negative stinking thinking in their lives to make it more positive. So that's project number one. So everybody's going to get a copy of this book on Ash Wednesday and or the next day if we don't have the opportunity to get them all passed out. And we're not going to force you to read it. We're not going to push anybody to read it, but we are going to offer a Lenten book club that you can be a part of if you would like to read it and discuss it as part of your Lenten journey. So that's thing number one. Thing number two that we're also going to do is through Catholic Relief Services, and that is Operation Rice Bowl. So check your couches for spare change. You know that food that you give up? I like to give up candy and pop during Lent. You're supposed to take that money and use it for good. All right. So give up Starbucks once a week. I know it's tough. Maybe give up an app that you pay for, a gaming app that you pay a fee for every month. Give that up for 6 weeks. Take that money, put it in an Operation Rice Bowl or drop it off at the campus ministry office. And then we're going to make a donation to Catholic Relief Services that helps people in impoverished situations all over the world. It also helps people in our own diocese as well. So those are the two big projects we're going to do. We'll also have an Ash Wednesday Mass as well.
Even though Lent is still a few weeks away, students are preparing for the season early to get themselves ready for Christ.
I was planning on giving up, I think probably TikTok. It's so hard, but I think I'm going to get through it.
As Lent continues to get closer as days pass, we as Catholics can prepare in many ways.
There are 3 steps in the Lenten journey: prayer, fasting, and almsgiving. So I think right now the best thing you can do in these weeks leading up to the beginning of March is just simply take some time to pray. It doesn't have to be hours and hours on end, although it could be if that is what you are called to do. But even, as you're driving to school, as you are getting ready to walk to lunch, whatever those little pauses in your day where you're making a transition, just say a quick prayer. That prayer can be as simple as "Thank you, God," or "God, I need your help today." But start to offer things up in prayer to God. And I think that's probably one of the best ways that you can prepare yourselves for that time of sacrifice and giving to others during the Lenten season.
There are still some plans being worked out now, but we should still be thinking about how to get ready for Christ.
We will be having Mass on Ash Wednesday. As you probably know, Father Jeff Burton and Mr. David Herr have been helping us out a lot with our all school and large group masses. Ash Wednesday's like a big day for them. I actually have Mass on that day in the afternoon. So you'll come to school as normal, but we won't have Mass second hour. It's more it's going to be closer to fifth or sixth hour. That schedule will be shared with everyone very soon. And then, of course, you get your book, Life is Messy. You're going to like it.
The Student Council-sponsored Winter Dance has been moved to March 12th this year, and preparations are currently underway to make it the best mid-school year dance yet. Here's Julie Wedrick with more on the story.
The Spring Fling Dance will be on March 12th at 6:30 p.m. This semi-formal event is open to all BNI students in grades 9 through 12. Though Bishop Noel has traditionally hosted a winter dance, this year the possibility of stricter social distancing restrictions left a lot of question marks during the cold weather months, so the dance was not put on the calendar.
I'm excited to go to the dance because this is our first dance because we didn't go to homecoming, and then obviously last year we didn't have any big things.
Yep.
We just thought it would have been too rushed if we would have had it in February. And due to the COVID cases that are supposedly going to drop in March, we just took advantage and went with March 12th. I just think it was a perfect theme because everybody knows what to expect.
The theme of the dance is nightlife, inspired by the city at night. The tickets for the spring dance are going to be $15 a piece and are now on sale during lunch. For this dance, students will be able to bring outside guests. Guest forms can be picked up in the main office.
You can get service hours for helping. If you want to get involved with the planning, just contact myself, Eric Copeland, or Kayla Arambula. Carolina Martinez, I think, is also helping, so come check us out. Send us an email or stop by.
What we can look forward to is how it'll look. I think we're putting much thought into the decoration.
For the spring fling.
I'm excited for the IG photo booth and the DJ.
As third quarter comes to a close, Bishop Noel seniors and some juniors are anxiously awaiting for college admissions news and preparing for life after graduation. Here's Vanessa Salazar with the report.
On today's newscast, we will be covering the college status of Bishop Noel seniors. With 4 months to graduation, plans are beginning to be made as well as big college decisions.
My top ones were Wabash, Purdue West Lafayette, and IUPUI. I'm going to be going to Wabash, and that one, I chose that one because I feel like it's where I belong, and it reminds me of Bishop Noel, and I've had an amazing 4 years here at Bishop Noel so far. So I think Wabash is a place for me.
With making college decisions, it's important to look into financial aid and resources, such as scholarships and FAFSA, which is due April 15th.
Number 2 question is FAFSA questions and financial aid. Obviously, that's a huge part of college because there is a fee to go to college. And so just making sure that our students are aware and being smart consumers when it comes to looking for a college and finding out what is going to be the best bang for their buck.
Scholarships are also very important to apply for during the college planning process. There are a few available here at Bishop Noel.
One is the Hammond College Bound. So if you are a senior and you live in the city of Hammond, you can apply for the Hammond College Bound. That scholarship is due, I believe, April 15th. But don't wait that long. I did put a banner at the end of the hallway, of the main hallway, so you should see it, a big reminder every single day. The other one is the Fultz Paris Scholarship, again, open to School City of Hammond seniors. So that does not mean that you have to be a resident of Hammond, just that you have to attend a school in Hammond. And as you can see, the deadline is February 26th. So come to my office, pick up a packet, and you will be able to fill that out.
Here is a piece of advice from senior Eric Copeland about college planning and financial aid.
Stay on top of your classes, make sure that you stay on top of scholarship, and take as many dual credit classes as you can. Like currently I'm taking the course at Purdue, and I feel like it's really going to benefit me a lot, especially when it comes to getting classes out the way.
Mr. Smith also has an important piece of advice when choosing where to get your college education.
Being a smart consumer. Knowing that you can get the same education at a cheaper cost, maybe at a local school, over than going away to a bigger school, can definitely save you a lot of money.
As seniors come close to graduation, the college application goal, being that all seniors apply to at least one college, is slowly being met.
Over, I believe 65% of the senior class have already applied, which is about 10 or 15% higher than last year's senior class. There's about 30 students left that have yet to apply to any college, because we're right around 104, 105 students, and if we're at 65%, it's about 35 students yet to apply.
Other than the stress of scholarships and applications, there is excitement in graduating high school.
I'm very excited. It's something that I've been looking forward to for my whole life so far. Even when I was in elementary, I was like, I can't wait to graduate high school.
The Bishop Noel Marching Band always breaks off into several niche groups during the off-season of marching, including mariachi band, jazz band, and rock band. Now all the students will have the option to see them perform publicly. Street Sweet Music Fridays will be held every other Friday during SRT in the auditorium, and will feature some of the spin-off groups from the band. The first event will be held today, and we'll have more on the story next month. Black History Month ends today, but Bishop Noll owns BSU continues to celebrate. Here's Dre Ante Upshaw with the report.
To start things off, the month of February is almost over, and with that being over also comes the end of Black History Month, which is indeed a very special month honoring the past African American heroes in history.
So during Black History Month, I celebrated by doing research. There's a lot of posts that people make with a lot of important information, and if someone says, hey, this person and Gary was the first to do something, I'll go and further research and be like, oh, that's pretty cool. And sometimes majority of the time, I'll even share that information with others. So that's how I celebrate it.
So as an African American teacher and a biracial teacher, I actually celebrate Black History Month through my classroom and celebrating Black artists and Black performers. So kind of in my classroom, what we've been doing is, that's where my celebration comes through, is through those classes. In my first period, we are watching A Raisin in the Sun, which was one of the first African American plays produced on Broadway by an African American woman. So we've been watching the movie version of A Raisin in the Sun. And then in my theater production class, we've been watching a number of musicals for Musical Friday with all African American casts.
As teachers have their own way of celebrating Black History Month, let's see how the students have enjoyed their Black History.
My dad cooked some food. We played spades and Uno. I whipped my dad at some spades. It was cold. It was pretty cool.
Lately, I've been watching a lot of African American or Black-oriented movies and shows. Black Panther, Boondocks.
Remember the Titans.
Yeah, Remember the Titans, things like that.
All Denzel movies, you gotta watch.
Yeah, the Boondocks has been pretty decent lately, but right.
Rest in peace, John Witherspoon.
I have talked to the head of the Black Student Union on how they have celebrated this month.
So during this month, we do have events planned. One thing that we basically did was we hang posters around the school with important influential people in Black history that people don't even probably know about. So we gave fun facts, information about them around the school. Currently we are working with the counselors. Mr. Smith is kind enough to reach out to some of the HBCUs throughout the country, and they are signing up to talk to students virtually.
The boys basketball team will play tonight at home against 21st Century Charter School. It is senior night for the cheerleaders. Spring sports are officially beginning. The track and field team will host their first indoor meet on Tuesday, March 1st at 5 p.m. This titular invitational is named after legendary former track coach Chris Nicolini, who passed away last year. The team will play again on Thursday at 5 at another home indoor meet against East Chicago and Morton. The JV boys hockey team finished their perfect season up with a state championship this past weekend after routing Crown Point in the semifinal 9-0 and the LSJ Warriors of Southwest Michigan in the finals 5-0. I'm here with Eric Shelton and Christian Figueroa. You guys ended the season undefeated. What kind of motivation and energy went into making that happen?
It was just making sure that we carried the momentum from each game into the next one and stayed confident in ourselves and the ability to play with each other.
Did you have any close calls when you thought you may have had a loss? How did you manage?
Yeah, so our last game of the regular season, we played LC, and it was like 2-2 going into the third. We won with 5 seconds left. So we just stayed confident throughout the game. We knew we would win, so yeah.
Tell me a little bit about the state tournament. What did you do to have 2 complete blowouts against Crown Point and LSJ?
It's mainly just our chemistry with each other on the team. We all spend a lot of time with each other and enjoy each other, so it's just the way we play.
The team seems to bond really well, especially the players from Bishop Noll. How are you guys?
The players from Bishop Noll, we see each other at school every day, and then we see each other at practice, and we hang out too, so we are pretty close. And then the team all together, we're on the ice 3 to 4 times a week, so everybody really gets along.
What's next for the prep team? How are you guys preparing for the varsity state tournament?
We have a spring league, and it's mainly just staying consistent with our practices and making sure that we don't fall behind.
Thanks, Eric and Christian. This is Maria Emilia Quiroga with your sports update. That happened. If you guys laugh. Sorry, I didn't practice your name this morning at the training. Okay.